The happiest people are not those people getting more, but they are those people need to give more. We need to be a giver. We need to add a value to our community. Wherever we are, wherever our presence is, no matter the status or position you have, please change your environment in a positive way. Add a meaningful value to it. That is how we can change the world.
Welcome to the Earth Keepers podcast. This podcast is for people who seek new and better ways to love and care for the earth. It's a podcast for anyone who is deeply concerned about the harm being done to the environment on a local and global level. It's a podcast that builds community and connection between people of like heart and mind, people who believe that earth care should be integrated into every aspect of life, and for many in the Earth Keepers community, that includes our spiritual lives. Welcome, friends, to the Earth Keepers podcast. Hey, friends, this is Forrest with a quick introduction to a really special episode, one that won't be hosted by me. As you know, this podcast has a very global audience. We've got listeners in 108 countries now, and our reach expands every month. And that's because Earth Keepers like you are so great about spreading the word about this podcast and sharing episodes with others in your social networks. Changing the climate future of our planet can only happen when we all work together and learn from each other. And that's why this podcast includes diverse perspectives from around the world. To that end, our guest host in this episode will be Abigail Fehrsen in South Africa. You might remember Abby from episode 57, when she and her friend Liesl told the story of the community food cooperative they founded. Well, in this episode, Abby will be talking to Kehinde Micheal Osatuyi about the Muizenberg Community Kitchen, an inspiring and groundbreaking social enterprise that offers nutritious, affordable, plant-based meals to the community, but also gives special attention to the needs of the poor and vulnerable and to promoting ecological awareness and environmental justice in all they do. Here then is a conversation between Abby and Michael.
Good afternoon, Michael, and welcome. It's good to be sitting here with you and to have this opportunity to share your story. My name is Abigail Fehrsen, and I am with Michael here in Cape Town, South Africa, in Muizenberg, and I'm excited to share Michael's story today. Won't you please orientate the listeners to who you are and tell them a little bit about who you are, where you are, and what your role at Muizenberg Kitchen is? And feel free to weave in your personal story into that as well.
My name is Kehinde Micheal. I graduated with a bachelor degree in laboratory medicine. Then I majored in histopathology, which is a clinical aspect in Nigeria. Then what brought me here to South Africa, I came to study forensic for 18 months program as affiliated with UCT and Tigerberg Hospital. So then from there I finished. Then I found myself in Muizenberg during COVID. I played a role in Community National Network, whereby we started a community kitchen. So that's why I found myself to be one of the co-founders there.
Thank you, Michael. I know that, COVID has an interesting way of weaving relationships between people that would have been unexpected. You shared a little bit about Community Action Network. Maybe can you explain a little bit what that is in more detail?
Yeah, Community Action Network, which preferably everybody call it CAN, is a initiative project during COVID that kind of responses to COVID issues by providing food. So we got some fund from lovers of humanity. We were supporting between Muizenberg, Fricon, like about 32 kitchens. Then when the fund finished, we were serving 200 to 300 people every day.
Michael, I love how you shared about this collaborative partnership between you and others, starting Muse Kitchen. Can you share a little bit about some of the collaborative efforts that you've partnered with others in the work that you do?
Thank you so much, Abigail. Talking about collaboration with other people locally in the community, because we're still in local level. So sometimes we've done some things at international level, but local level in Cape Town, we collaborate with community garden. We collaborate with community school, which is Star Seed Community School. We also collaborate with others, art projects, NGOs in the community area.
You know, I've been to Muse Kitchen, I think twice. Feels like it's completely not enough. But I would love you to share an example or two to give people a picture of this community at Muse Kitchen. I know it's a big group of community volunteers. Can you perhaps share a story or two that can give people a picture and a feel of this very special community?
Actually, there's a lot of stories to share, but I will just pick one or two. There's one of the homeless guy that don't have a place, don't have a shelter, don't have, it's nothing. So he walked up to me and he said, please, can I have a food? I said, come to the garden. So I gave this young man food to eat. And every time he comes, and the next time he asks me, sorry, I don't want to just eat alone. I also want to give back to community. I said, you are free. You can come and volunteer. And he got accepted. And I know he's not dressing nicely. So, and I went home, I took some of the clothes I'm using, and I gave it to this guy to dress, so that the way you dress is the way they will address you. Because I don't want them to see like a homeless person. He so appreciate. Then I walked towards again to put him in a shelter in New Hope organization I work. So it was in the New Hope house where it's a second phase place. Then they accepted him. He was there. He's doing well, and he was volunteering. He was eating, and his life changed. Then when he looks back at me, he said, Michael, if I did not meet you that time, and if I did not give my service, as if my life would not be changed like this. So, and I'm happy that, yes, I changed somebody's life through this community kitchen project. So there's a lot of testimonies I can share. There's a lot of life that have changed through this project. So because food is a catalyst that connects and brings people together. So food is a network, it's a connector, it's a different thing. So it's a simple element that can bring me and you, that we are here talking together, to give someone a life everlasting meaning.
Thank you for sharing those very meaningful testimonies of how, like you put it, an act of giving, an act of kindness. And what I loved about what you shared now is that it shows how when we give and receive kindness and give and receive to each other, it's contagious. It is contagious. And I think these stories that you've chosen so well that really simmer down to some of the values of the community kitchen and Muse Kitchen. Can you maybe summarize some of those values where these examples that you've shared have indicated what some of those core values of the kitchen is?
Some of the core values, like the story I shared earlier, we empower the youth. It's also our value to also have a Kitchen as a holistic place where we meet new faces, different people from different angles. Also do kind of value of nutritional workshop that we do trainings, we do nutritional workshop with different people around us. And also our value is also to collaborate and adapt with other like community garden and the Starseed Community School to use food also to connect with these people, to teach the kids in the Starseed Community School on where they know where food is coming from. They're also in the garden to know how food is planted, generate. So we work together like that. We connect together like that. So that is another core value, is to develop the community, to make it a home for everyone, to be together, to speak together, to make a friend, to give a person a life meaning. So that is what we are all about.
Michael, I experienced that the other day when I popped in at the kitchen. It really is a welcoming place. Yeah. And in fact, the person that I met that was there on that afternoon also had just acquainted herself with the kitchen. But I could see she was at home. She felt welcomed. She felt really at ease. And I think that's a really beautiful thing, that people from any walk of life feels welcome and included, and not just someone who can receive, but someone who can give, that they are considered valued, that they are considered worthy, that they themselves can be empowered and are empowered to participate in contributing to what is served. And I think your story earlier really encompasses that so well, that everybody's welcome to receive and everybody's welcome to give if they choose to. There is such a strong community focus in the work of Muse Kitchen, in the work of the community garden, and through the community school. You've shared some of the educational elements of the Muizenberg Kitchen. Does that sometimes come in the form of workshops? I mean, I know that people who are connected through Muse Kitchen and connected through the community school participates in that. But are there other ways that Muse Kitchen imparts some of that knowledge through some educational workshops or discussions or evenings? How are other ways in which that happens?
This is the area I love so much. Many people always think that when you say kitchen, they feel like you just go there, sit down, you eat, and you walk away. No. Kitchen is a home. It's a holistic place. So the education aspect system that we run in the kitchen is like a research project place. That is one. Secondly, we also assist the hospitality student in Falls Bay College in Muizenberg here to train them, not just theoretically, to assist the college practically. They partner with us. They bring their student to do 18 months program so that they can learn more, to practice more in their hospitality, to know how to be a chef, to know how to cook, to what all the theory aspect they are learning. I coordinate at that aspect. So we've trained some students there and they appreciate what we're doing. Thirdly, we also always partner or collaborate with Starseed Community School, whereby we teach the kids, grades 2, grade 4, grade 5. They come to the kitchen to learn. We used to name it kid chef. They teach these kids in foodology, in terms of learning what they want to know about element of the food. Fourthly, we also do nutritional workshops. We try to initiate a way whereby we'll be every week or maybe twice in a month. We want to be doing some presentations on nutrition basis, on climatic actions, on food, agriculture, just to bring more connection together in the kitchen. So these are the ways of educational system that we are trying to improve so that it will add to sustainability development goals for us to reduce hunger in our community.
Such important work that you're all doing. And I know that besides the nutrition and the focus around education around that, there's also been some environmental focus in the work that you do. Please share a bit about that.
One thing about environmental justice that we're talking about, we can't, I always put my service above myself. Let me put it like that. Zero hunger. We focus in zero hunger. So we can't neglect by not focusing on zero waste. So, and that is part of environmental justice. Food system, climate action, environmental issues around us. So that is why we ventured into doing cleanup activities. So we clean up we involve in compost system, we involve in recycling system, we involve in upcycling system, and we involve in environmental cleanup activities. So those are the 4 areas that we try to do zero waste. Even one of the units of Miss Kitchen, because we have shop like Miss Kitchen store that people come and buy dry goods, grains, soap activities. We don't encourage our clients to wasting plastic to litter the environment. Instead, we tell them, bring your container from home to get your goods. That is the same unique system that it works in the community garden. Whenever I'm sharing food to the needy, bring your container, because those are the way to curb waste, to zero waste. So now, compost area, all the veggies we chop, the remaining, we don't throw it away. We manage to store it as a compost. We take it to our community garden for them to use as an organic waste, for them to use it there. We have food waste also, which also serve as an organic for the community garden. So we have recycling system. We don't just throw it away like that. We encourage people. They come together. We bring those recycling. We link to a local recycling company. They come. They pick up this every Thursday to involve the residents in terms of environmental justice, so that they will know the benefit on how to keep the environment clean. These are the way that we are doing justice to our environment to keep it clean. So we don't want to be injustice, but we wanted to add more value to our community. So that is what Kitchen is also doing. So we are not just eating food alone.
Hey friends, Forrest here again. Going to take a quick break to hear some words of encouragement from a partner program. Then we'll be right back to the conversation between Abby and Michael.
Have you been wondering if graduate school might be the next step in your personal and vocational growth? Do you know someone who is looking for a master's program that will help them transition to a career in social and environmental justice? You might want to check out the Masters of International Community Development program at Northwest University, a graduate degree that is mentioned pretty often on the Earth Keepers. My name is Vidya Chintala, and I am an ICD graduate myself. Being a part of this program has been transformational for me, both personally and professionally. The ICD program is for those who want to learn non-traditional, more humble and collaborative approaches to transforming and strengthening communities, and to do so in ways that focus not just on human communities, but also on the whole community of creation. This 20-month faith-based graduate program is offered in 2 formats, either in person in Seattle or in a mostly online format that allows you to take courses from anywhere in the world. If you're at all curious, you will find a link to the Masters of International Community Development program site in this episode's show notes.
For those who don't know geographically where we're located in Cape Town, at the southern tip of South Africa, we are in Muizenberg, which is a seaside suburb town. I don't think we're a town. We're not that big. But like you put it, Greater Muizenberg includes a number of neighborhoods, and which also includes Muizenberg Village, which is a very quaint part of Muizenberg. But it borders an estuary, so it has access to the ocean. But unfortunately, it's also a catchment to a lot of water canals and systems from the greater Cape Town. And unfortunately, with that comes waste. Sometimes when we have heavy rainfall, it can often accumulate in the estuary, or what we would call the vlei, which is an Afrikaans word. And so it requires work from all of us. Again and again, in everything that you speak about, I hear collaboration again and again, which partnership is something that where we're all taking responsibility to work together to solve a problem. And actually through this collaboration with the city management, along with community bodies and residents and people who are also residents but don't have the privilege of a roof over their head, but they've also partnered with you in cleaning the beach, in cleaning the street. Can you tell me about these artistic expressions along the estuary? There's a few artistic wire baskets. Can you tell us the story about the wire baskets dotted around these water bodies to help and empower and facilitate us all being part of this environmental justice act of cleaning up?
I'm so happy that you noticed that in the environment in the Muizenberg. Actually, it was when I was involved with the municipality during the EPWP program. So the councillor love what we're doing. So I throw in an idea of to reduce waste. That if you can create an artistic, like an animal wired, so that people can have access, even they dump plastic or whatever, instead of littering on the floor, at least this can clean the community. So because I always take a picture, I sent it to her personally. So she was like, no, we can create this in the vlei, in the park, where people come with their dogs, kids, they play around. We create an artistic work there. Then people can throw any plastic there. And this is working. So we encourage other communities to also do so that they can keep their environment clean. So that is the community works.
It is such a empowering thing, because often when we are going for walks in the neighborhood with our family or our pets, even if it's not your own waste, but we don't always walk around with a bag. And so to be able to put that in a place where we know it's going to be moved to the correct waste depot, if we can't do it ourselves and get it to our own rubbish bins in our homes, such a great initiative. I know earlier you shared a bit about the young people, part of the community school, and then also the young people that are part of training, part of their practical training that happens at Muse Kitchen. Having interacted with some of the young people, and I know young people are a big passion, a personal passion of yours, what do you see going on amongst the younger generation when it comes to their sense of the future, or their belief that they can make a real change where they find themselves, especially as we are facing this global climate crisis? What do you see brewing amongst them?
Firstly, I would say Micah is a lover of youth. So that is why I also initiate a project called Youth for Change in this community, whereby we bring in the youth age of 18, 19, 20, 21 together. So to empower them, to let them know how to develop their community at a younger age.
The kitchen sounds like a hub of compassion. So much compassion. And while the initial draw or connection is around climate issues or food or educational focuses, through that you've obviously discovered that there's so much more going on in the lives of young people where they need support and help and encouragement. And what a wonderful space for them to be able to know that they can come and learn. They can come and speak. They can share in a place where they can connect with adults who care about them. And I think we can agree that the global crisis around climate is real. And it's a hard thing for both young people and adults to face. In conclusion, we've shared and spoken about so many varied forms of how the community kitchen, the community garden, and the community school functions as this threefold network of collaboration and partnership and how that all works together. You've shared some things about your own personal motivation around why you do the work that you do, which has been truly encouraging and inspiring to hear you share, Michael. The Earth Keepers podcast listeners find themselves in many parts of the world. Some may be in other parts of Africa, Kenya, Zambia, in other parts of the Northern Hemisphere, India, Spain, or in the southern parts of this world, Argentina, perhaps, from many different parts. What lessons could they take away from this conversation that would inspire and equip them to become better Earth Keepers, to be better global citizens? What would you say to them?
What I will say is this. Firstly, I would say we should try to be a change maker in our community. The happiest people are not those people getting more, but they are those people who need to give more. We need to be a giver. We need to add a value to our community. Wherever we are, wherever our presence is, no matter the status or position you have, please change your environment in a positive way. Add a meaningful value to it. That is how we can change the world.
That is so true, that we can all, in the places around the world, in our local community, like you did, you merely observed what you saw around you and you acted. You acted generously, you acted with compassion, and you acted in love, because there's no monetary feedback that you get in return for all that you have given. And I know that you're a man of faith, and so I know that God's played a part in your giving. And I think that we can all be reminded and encouraged and inspired to do the same, to act in small ways that can grow to become big ways of sharing love and compassion and generosity where we find ourselves.
We've been listening to guest host Abigail Fehrsen from South Africa in conversation with Kehinde Micheal Osatuyi of Muizenberg Kitchen. If you want to learn more about the work of Mui's Kitchen, please check out this episode's show notes, where you'll also find information about Northwest University's School of Global Studies. I am Forrest Inslee, your podcast host. Our executive producer is James Amadon, and our producer is Dave Wolfers. Timothy Connor is our editor, and Forrest Reed is the creator of our original music. Our research assistant is Colleen Meggerly, and Jesselyn Gentry is our social media director. Thank you, friends, for listening, and please join us for our next conversation on the Earth Keepers podcast.